Have you ever found yourself scrolling through YouTube looking for ways to save money or looking at ways how to budget? Then you come across a video where you see people playing with money and putting it into envelopes. And you're like, what are they doing? Why are they putting those money into envelopes like that? Welcome to the cash envelope system. You've just come across the best way to save money for your future. All jokes aside, welcome to the cash envelope system. And if you've been wondering how to get started and why we're playing with money the way we are and stuffing into envelopes, I'm going to talk to you about 5 tips on how to get the cash envelope system working for you and how it can help you save more money than you ever have if you're able to stick to it and use it wisely. So with that being said, go ahead and grab yourself a snack, sit back and relax, and let's get into these 5 tips on how to start the cash envelope system right now. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Kris. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video today. So today we're going to talk about the cash envelope system, what it is, and 5 different tips to get started using this method if you've never done it before. So what is the cash envelope system, you may be wondering? For those of you who already know and you're watching this video, comment down below what your definition is of the cash envelope system. The cash envelope system, to me, my definition is a way of allocating funds into separate categories so that you can budget how much you want to spend for a given amount of time, and so that it will help you save money and stick to a budget. There we go. So today we're going to talk about how to start the cash envelope system and how to do it. And let's go ahead and get into step number 1. Step number 1, when you're setting up the cash envelope system, you first want to think about those categories that you want to set up, that you want to set money aside for. When you're setting up these categories, you really want to think about those things that you spend money on any given week or given 2 weeks in between your pay periods. And you want to try to keep under a specific budget so that you can have money that will last for that week into the next payday or for the next 2 weeks. So for example, some categories can be groceries, gas, date night, food, coffee, eating out, household. Whatever the category is, this is how you're going to determine, once you have money left over, how much you want to allot for each different category. But the one thing is, when you're coming up with these categories, you don't want to go overboard. Think about if there's any categories you can combine. Can you combine certain things into one category so you don't find yourself with 10 or 20 categories for the week? The point is to minimize what you're going to be doing your spending on so you can stay on track with your budget. Now we're going to get into step number 2. Once you've developed what those categories are, now you got to set a budget for them. So what do I mean by setting a budget for the different categories? Well, after you've created your monthly budget and you looked at all of your monthly expenses and how much money you need to allocate to, those necessities such as rent, mortgage, car note, your savings account, emergency fund, all of those things, and what you have left over, now you want to create a budget for those categories you've created so you can make sure you stick to the amount of money that you're going to give yourself for the next week or so to see if you can come under budget, to see if you go over budget, if you need to adjust some things. And this helps to get a handle on your spending to make sure you're not going over. So for example, let's just say I have $225 left over after I paid all of my necessary bills and I put away money for debt and my emergency fund and that I want to save for the month. The first thing that I would look at is, how much do I spend for gas every 2 weeks? I know that it takes my car probably about $30 a week to fill up. So I'm going to allocate $60 for gas out of that budget for the next 2 weeks, okay? So once we subtract $60 from that $225, that's going to leave us with $165 for our remaining 4 envelopes. Next, I know I need to get groceries. Now, I just went grocery shopping 2 weeks ago, so I still have some food in my freezer that I can make meals with. So now I'm going to meal plan and get those necessities and look at what we need for dinner that can last a couple days, for school lunches and things of that nature. So I'm going to budget around $75 to get some of those extra pantry items, milk, eggs, bread, and whatever little treats that we may need. So we're going to subtract $75 from $165, and that's going to leave us with $90 for our remaining 3 envelopes. Now, I know I need household items. We're probably going to need toilet paper and toothpaste, right? I know I've been clipping coupons and I got some good deals coming up. I don't need dishwashing liquid. I don't need anything like that, but I know we need toothpaste and all of those items. So I have $90 left. So I'm going to say with my coupons, that's probably going to cost me about, I'm going to say about $35 I'll allocate for my household products. And if you guys shop for household products, make sure you're looking for those deals. Make sure you're looking for those coupons to see what you can get a bargain on and buy in bulk. So once I do my household, that's going to leave me with about $55. Now, I know that I love to eat out, okay? But I also know that I need to start cooking more at home. So I have a budget now left of $55. So I'm going to save that for probably some weekend meals for me and my daughter to make sure we go out. We can just splurge a little bit. So I'm going to say for the next 2 weeks, we're going to try to cut that eating out balance down to $40 to cover us because we're going to be eating at home more. So that leaves me with a remaining amount of $15, and I'm going to put that $15 in my miscellaneous envelope in case for some reason we go over, or in case for some reason, you know, someone's doing a candy drive, or, you know, my daughter forgot she has a field trip and they need $2 for the bus trip or something like that. Now, obviously, that was just an example that I threw up there with fake numbers. But the point is, what you're going to do after you create your monthly budget and you subtract all of your necessary expenses and things that you must pay, whatever that remaining amount is, you figure out the most important categories for you and you divvy up how you're going to divide that remaining money to go into that category and what's going to help you survive until next payday so you don't have to touch it. And the good thing is, if you're really crafty and you're really good about that money, you may even have leftover money and you can roll over that money to wherever you want to roll it over to for the next week, or you can put it in your savings or however you want to spend it. That's the fun part about the cash envelope system. I hope you guys are enjoying this video on the cash envelope system. It's so much fun and I enjoy talking about this. And if you guys are enjoying it, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope that you decide to join the family. Now let's get into step number 3. And step number 3 is now it's time to withdraw that money from the bank. So now that we set up our categories and we've created a budget for what we think we can spend over the next week or so until we get paid again, now it's time to go to the bank and put that money in our envelope so that we can spend. Now, people do this step in a variety of ways, and it's ultimately up to you how you want to do this step. Most people like to put cash in their envelopes because it helps keep them accountable. They know that is the amount that they have to use. They can pull that cash out, get change back, and they know how much they're working with. The most important thing when you're using this system is you got to make sure you're tracking those expenses. So for example, if you know you put $75 in your grocery envelope, but maybe you went to the store and you only spent $40 and you got $35 left, make sure you're writing on your tracker how much you have. You may get the sales ad in. I don't know if you're like me. I like to look at the sales ads at the grocery store, see what's coming up, circling what's going to be on sale so I know how much I have left over to spend. Make sure you're tracking that money once you use it so you can stay on track of your budget to see how much you have left to spend on different expenses. Now, some people like to do this digitally, and that's fine too. You can still have your categories. You can still allocate the budget for each category, but instead of pulling out the cash and putting it into the envelope, you can track it digitally. Now, I know there's a lot of apps out there that you can use to help you track your expenses. I, for one, have an app that I've been using for years, and it's called Simple Budget, and that it truly is a simple budget app, and you're able to set up your different envelopes. It is the cutest thing, by the way. You can create different envelopes just like your categories. You can name them, you can put the amount of cash that's in them, and you go in and you can electronically subtract how much you spent. The point is that you're creating those categories and setting a budget for it and sticking to it. And for the final step to the cash envelope system, now that that week or 2 weeks is up to your next paycheck and you're ready to budget it again, now it's time to see if you had money left over, or did you go over, or did you come under? Which one was it? So what we hope for is that we came under, And we can truly show ourselves that yes, you can budget. When you allocate a specific amount of money that you want to use, it is amazing with this system how much you can use, as opposed to when you just keep the money in your account and you just swipe. That's me. Swipe and no swipey. That's exactly me. So that's the great thing about this system. You stay on top of your budget, you set how much you want to spend, and you will be amazed at how you will look at how much money it is and how you will make it work for you. Now that it's payday again, what are you going to do with that money? If you have money left over, you may want to roll it over to the next one. For instance, if I had $20 left in groceries, I may want to go ahead and roll that over in the next budget. So say my budget for groceries this time is $150. I'm going to leave that 20 in there. Now I have $170 to work with. Some people like to use their leftover money and use it in a rollover account. So say you allotted $75 for groceries and you only spent $50 and you got $25 left, but you don't want to roll it over. You want to take that $25 and put it into your, let's say you have an emergency fund account that you want to save it towards. Or if you want to have a rollover envelope, and then you take all the rollover money and you do something with it, whether you put it in an emergency fund or use it for vacation or shopping or whatever it may be. So the choice is up to you what you want to do with that extra money. But as you continue to see that your budget is working, now you can look at your budget. And remember, we always want to review our budget. We never want to stick to the same budget. Maybe you don't need as much in the gas envelope as you thought you could. Now you can budget that money somewhere else. Or maybe you don't need as much in groceries because you're meal planning and using coupons and looking in your pantry. So now you can put less into the grocery fund and put more into your debt payoff or something like that. If you have money left over or not, the whole point is to see how well you're doing with your budget. If you need to increase it, if you need to decrease it, take that leftover money and do with it as you please. And now you are getting into the habit of being a cash envelope stuffer and making sure your money is working for you. All right, you guys, so there you have it. There are my 4 steps when utilizing the cash envelope system. If this is your first time and you're going to give it a try, make sure you comment below and let me know so I can follow your journey. I will tell you, ever since I've started the cash envelope system, it has been the best decision I have ever made, and I have saved more money than I ever have over the past 2 years. I've saved more money now than I ever have my entire life. It really does work, and it really does take your dedication and discipline to make your money work for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to learn more about the cash stuffing system and what categories to choose, go ahead and click on this box right here and look at some of the categories that I choose and how I set up my money. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.